we peaked last summer, and nothing's ever been the same. Honestly, like that was it. You know, Tortured Poets and the Scotland trip, we peaked.
Welcome to Hits Different.
Lee hee hee. I'm Ryan, and that's Molly.
In today's episode, we are going to reminisce on our amazing trip to Edinburgh, Scotland last year, where we got to see the Eras Tour, all 3 nights there in Scotland. It was an amazing trip, and I cannot believe that it's been a whole year since it happened.
Feels like a fever dream. It does not feel like a year. It feels like a decade ago.
It really does.
That's the only place I want to be right now.
I know. We did talk about this last year when we went. So if you have been watching our channel or listening to our podcast for at least a year now, then you might have already heard about some of these stories. But if you want to go back and see more of our content from the trip, we had a full episode like right after the 3rd and final night of the trip where we just were digesting everything that was the amazing experience of seeing the Eras Tour. And then we also put together a vlog from that 3rd night because we got to be VIP floor and get that early entry and get close to the stage. So we're gonna take you through the whole weekend anyway in this episode. But if you want to go back and see more from that weekend as it happened, we'll put the links to those videos and episodes in the description of this episode. And make sure to subscribe to our channel or follow us wherever you're listening to this podcast. You can also watch our podcast on Patreon ad-free, get some fun blooper content. So if you would like to join our Patreon, the link to that will also be in the description of this episode.
So you're probably wondering, first and foremost, what we are wearing. Me specifically, why do I look like a colonial doll? And I just wanted to preface, this was a shirt that I got for my Tortured Poets outfit that I wore in Edinburgh for the Eras Tour, I think 1 or 2 of the nights. I got it from a really cool vintage store. I left my necklace at home. I basically got a replication of the necklace that she wears during the Tortured Poets set with the Vivienne Westwood little Saturn. It was a vibe. But I realized without it, you're like, she looks like a colonial doll.
I think it looks nice.
It's nice. It's just not my vibe. You're like, what is Ryan wearing? Why is Molly a reporter for New Heights? That's the vibe you're giving.
For anyone who's listening, Ryan's blouse is it's like a white vintage blouse that's giving Tortured Poets for sure.
It was a vibe. I was pretty dang proud of the outfit I put together.
My outfit is pretty much all black jacket, black shirt with the green New Heights hat that I was trying to imitate Taylor's Coachella outfit from last spring, which happened a month-ish before we left for our trip. And Ryan actually was the one who had the idea of trying to recreate the Coachella outfit. I already had the hat and a lot of the things I needed for it. I got the skirt. I'm not wearing that right now, but I got the skirt that was the replica of the skirt that she wore to Coachella. It had the cool little buckle, and then Alex dressed up as Travis Kelce, and he was very dedicated to his outfit. He found all these things that matched Travis's outfit, down to the hat and the bandana and the striped pants and everything, and we got a Taylor Nation shout out.
I took some real cute pics of them. I was being their photographer. I was like, all right, we're gonna mimic like the Taylor and Travis, you know, when he's like got his arm around her and they're looking all cute while they're vibing at Coachella. Yeah, they were giving vibes while we were waiting outside the stadium, and yeah, posted it and crushed. And
that
then
was
we got recognition.
So wild. Yeah, it was the first day, the Friday night, and when we tweeted it, it was outside of the stadium. And then once we got in, we pretty much lost service because we wanted to try and live stream the show and things like that. And we had no cell service to be able to do that. We couldn't even get our notifications. So it actually, like, a text ended up coming through to me from a friend that said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys got a Taylor Nation shout out. And we couldn't even see it until hours after. But that was really, really cool.
That was a life highlight for sure.
Before we get into the rest of the show details that we want to relive, let's take it back to just arriving in Edinburgh, and we had about a day and a half to explore before our whole life got dedicated to eating, sleeping, breathing the Eras Tour. And we got to see a lot of really cool stuff when we were there.
It was the cutest little city. We'd heard so many good things about Scotland and Edinburgh specifically. One of our subscribers actually is from there and had been prepping us ahead of time.
Shout out to Andrew.
So we just knew it was gonna be great, and it was everything people said and more. It was just like like so Europe, so freaking cute. Just like the cobbled paved stones, the
cobblestones, cobblestone streets,
the high heels and cobblestones. The one street with all the different colored buildings. It was a vibe. And we had one full day. And so I found like a day trip out to Dunbar on the coast, take the train. It's only like a 20-30 minute train ride. And we just walked on the coast, went to like this really cute bookstore. So cute.
Yeah, we got a really cool piece of stained glass that we have hanging in our window from there.
We did our Down Bad choreo video, which we also got a comment. We peaked last summer. Nothing's ever been the same. Honestly, like that was it. You know, Torture Poets and the Scotland trip, we peaked, and we've just been staying like existing ever since.
Before the Scotland trip, Taylor herself commented on the Fortnite challenge video that Ryan edited together, and then she pinned it on the playlist on her YouTube channel.
It's still there in case anyone wants to look.
And then on this trip, we got 2 Taylor Nation notices, and we've never gotten noticed by Taylor Nation since. Who knows if we ever will again? We peaked. It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay, because honestly, right now and forever, probably nothing can really outdo that unless they notice this again, which it's gonna take a lot. But we were just vibing, and so I wanted like the perfect spot to do the Down Bad choreo, and all of a sudden we're walking and it's like that cliffside looks perfect. I've been waiting that whole trip, finding alleyways and nothing working, and then that was it.
Yeah, if you want to see that, I don't think that we posted it on YouTube, but we definitely posted it on our Instagram and TikTok. So go follow us at It Hits Div Pod, and you can see it. We can link to that in the description of this episode too. And it was on Instagram where Taylor Nation commented on it. I think they said something like, "These are our people," like doing the Down Bad dance on the cliffs of Scotland.
It was like the choreographer on TikTok, Chloe May, who made this dance, and it just went viral. And we did it. And one of Molly's friends was with us on the trip and just joined in, and it was just like, welcome to the chaos of these absurd videos.
She was down to be an extra in all of our content.
We actually have a lot of really good Europe videos that are on our social, so you should go back and look. That was a really fun time. We were just creating like goofy content.
Yeah, and I had a Taylor tote bag that I was carrying with us while we were walking around these cliffs, and I kind of left it at the top, and then we walked down to film the content, and at the top someone was walking by and said, "Are you going to the Eras tour?" Because they could see my tote bag, I think. And obviously we're doing a dance to Taylor music. And just everyone was so friendly. At first I thought they were gonna be like, get off these cliffs, what are you doing?
What are
they're like,
fools?
Do you have tickets?
Immediate like paranoia, and then you're like, wait, they're one of us. We're safe. And Europe just did the Eras tour better. And
it was great.
They were better than any. I mean, no shade to America. I mean, we're Americans, but it was just a different vibe all around.
Yeah, everyone was super friendly. The whole town turned into a Swifties dream. Every restaurant and shop had Taylor themed things. And the US definitely did that in certain cities. I just don't feel like it was in all of the cities in 2023. And then when the Eras tour came back to the US in 2024, I feel like it leveled up.
Yeah, because they saw Europe and they were like, wait, we like when they did the giant friendship bracelet that passed around on the stadium, it was like, okay, we did it.
They stepped up.
They were inspired by Europe.
How all out Europe was going. The Torture Poets Department and things like that were not billboards, but like the buses were wrapped in the promotional material, the train,
all of it.
It was so cool. You just felt like you were in your own little Swiftie land. But the backdrop of Scotland was amazing as well. And the people were so nice. And then when we were waiting in line at the venue, they're handing out free water, just all these things that don't happen in
friendship
the US.
Bracelets. Yeah. The venue, we talk about that in our video that we took after the show, just being in awe of everyone who worked at the venue and the stadium, and just how the water as well. I've never been offered so much water in my life.
Free
it's like
water.
More water during the show, before the show. Please hydrate, don't die. And it was cold.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, I mean, it was a little warm that like the third day, but overall it wasn't even that hot, and they were still like, please hydrate.
Yeah, they were very generous, and everything was really well organized and well run, and we just loved our time there. And I guess now we can get into the shows themselves because they were amazing. I'm so glad that it worked out that we went to Scotland, because I mean, every Eras Tour show is amazing in its own way, but the way that the surprise songs worked out and things like that were better than we could have ever hoped for or dreamed of. And we were so lucky to be able to go all 3 nights and kind of get different experiences on each night of where we were sitting and things like that. So the first night we were general admission floor center. So you kind of could go anywhere in like where the T is at the end of the stage, like anywhere around there and back. And so we ended up being over to the right. You know, if you're short, you might have had a hard time seeing certain parts of the show, but otherwise you have a pretty good view of the stage. The other interesting thing about this is that in Scotland and a lot of Europe this time of year, the sun doesn't set until really late. So the show was pretty much totally
Rep was in the daylight. That was the first time, I think, on the Eras Tour, one of the first times that Rep was like during the day.
I think it had started to happen in Europe, but this was like the latest because even Tortured Poets was daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was full daylight.
So you do miss some of those lighting
like
effects.
The zombie.
Yeah,
the zombie was a little hard to see. The Tay zombie.
Yeah, or like the flashing lights during Reputation, like the Don't Blame Me lights. You couldn't really see that stuff because it was still so bright outside.
Literally banking on darkness that we did not have at all.
Yeah, but because
and Taylor
of
could
that,
see all of us.
Yeah,
that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, because of that, Taylor could see all of our faces the whole show,
which I think she really enjoyed. And I know that started to happen throughout Europe of her that just being a new experience, and that was fun to watch other shows take advantage of that and be like, okay, you can see us now. It's like a total, like when Champagne Problems and stuff, and she could see everyone, and like that's so cool.
Yeah,
it's beyond the bracelets. Like I can see actual faces, and like, but I also feel like she had so much anxiety because it wasn't hot, but it was still, you know, a summer of each show had its own nuances and things for her to worry about. Now she could see us all. And so she was on it, watching to make sure. And at this point, everyone in the audience was very dialed if someone needed help, like doing the whole like this, like very easy to be like, okay, there's people over there that need help. And she would stop down and did like that first night, I think it was probably like 10 times.
Because in Europe, the floor was general admission as opposed to in the US where you had seats, the crowd could end up getting pretty packed in and it made it hard for people to move around or leave if they needed to. So Taylor could see everyone and call it out when it seemed like someone needed to get assistance to them. And on the first night, during the surprise songs, that's exactly what happened. She started playing the very first song on guitar was Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. And it was an out-of-body experience.
Yeah. One of Molly's top songs, period. I love that song. We talk about that in a Q&A episode that is coming out next week. And to hear that, it was crazy. And then obviously with this added.
Yes. So as Taylor is singing Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, I think she was about halfway through at this point.
About to get to the bridge. Like about to get into it.
Yeah. And this was probably the coldest night out of all 3. It was pretty cold and windy. And so Taylor is singing Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, and then she sees someone who needs help, and she stops the song, but is still strumming the guitar, and she's like, "I'm just gonna keep singing until you can help the people that need help in front of me. They're right here. I'll do this all night."
Because she tried her normal attempt of, hey, they need help, I'm gonna keep going, and it wasn't happening fast enough. And so she's like, all right,
she started getting a little sassy.
And then I can't even keep up a conversation without being like, squirrel, what's over there? I forgot everything I was saying. And meanwhile, she's got 1,000 things going on, and they finally get help. She's satisfied, and she's just like carrying on with the bridge, doesn't miss a beat.
She did not miss a beat. And the funniest part of all of it though was that the longer it went on and they didn't have help, she's strumming, and like I said, she started to get a little sassy with it, like, I can do this all night, I'm not gonna start playing the song until you help these people. And then as soon as they got help and she started to play the song again, she had to stop because her hand cramped because of the cold.
That's right.
So she's like, I can do this all night. I'm sorry, just 1 second. My hand is formed in the shape of a claw.
And it was literally the next night that became the gloved Tortured Poets Taylor. That all started because she realized, oh, if this is going to keep being a thing and my hand's going to get cold, we're going to wear gloves.
Yeah,
now.
She needed to wear gloves for that whole part of the set list,
totally
leading up to needing to use her hands to play the guitar. So we have a video of that is also posted on our socials if you didn't see that. But the claw night, like, I feel like went down in history. And just the fact that it's all happening during Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. And then she pipes back in with, all right, give me back my
right?
It was my bird.
Not interjecting the bridge with this. Yeah, it was It's flawless.
It was so good. And then she matched it up with I Know Places.
What a savage mashup. Savage.
It was amazing. Ryan and I were stunned.
Too stunned to speak. Because what it could have should have is a long song. I was like, I'm totally okay if this is all, like, if she's not going to mash this up.
Right.
It would make sense. It's a long song. And then, nope, the gift that keeps on giving. And I Know Places is one of my top songs of 1989. I feel like it's so underrated.
And as 1989 girlies.
Right. It's so low. It's one of those classic, like, low on the track list. Gets forgotten sometimes.
But absolute banger. Yeah.
Fire.
Then Taylor goes and sits down at the piano, and the piano was pretty close to us. It, again, was such an out-of-body experience for the surprise songs on night one being that close. She starts to play 'Tis the Damn Season. And when I tell you, I'm like, what I coulda, shoulda, I Know Places, and then 'Tis the Damn Season, my favorite song from Evermore. I thought we'd never hear again because it got taken off the set list by this point. And it was so good.
I feel like we keep plugging our social, but again, we made so much fun content. So I like cut together our reacts from that night because it was just such a whirlwind. So you literally, because our friend who was there took video of us secretly.
Yeah, we didn't realize that she was recording us.
Yeah, shout out Eileen, the prophet who predicted the Bolter in the getaway car. But
next night.
Not to jump ahead, and she was taking secret video of us, and I'm so glad because you just see us going through it.
Because we had that for all of the surprise songs that night. We had that moment where you hear the song and you're singing along to the song. Be like, what song is it? Because your brain's just going a million miles a minute. And that happened to me with every song that night, even though they're some of my favorite songs. It took me a second. I'm like, if you wanted to know who I was hanging
slow.
with while I was gone.
That was a slow burn because I never even thought that was the only song she has done that was removed from the set list. Am I right?
She ended up doing like The Archer and other songs like that. She missed it in Long Live. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the first one?
It might have been what it might. Yeah, I don't know how often. I don't think that she sang "'Tis the Damn Season" again after that.
No, that was it. That was, and talking about social again, we made a video back when she removed all those from the set list for Tortured Poets, doing a spoof about it because it wrecked me. Yeah. Just like Tolerate It. I mean, basically getting 'Tis the Damn Season was like getting Tolerate It.
It was so good.
I mean, if I got Tolerate, I would have died. But 'Tis the Damn Season was up there of, wow, I didn't think this was in the playing field.
And then out of nowhere, never would have expected it, she mashed it up with Daylight. And we love that song from Lover.
Yeah.
So it was just,
Fire.
It was absolute perfection. Then the second night, we were in the lower bowl, pretty much the last row of the lower bowl, and we were on the other side of the stadium that time. It's really cool to be able to see the show from a higher up angle after kind of being on the floor, because you don't get to see the visuals of the things that are playing that are on the stage, or you can't really see the certain parts of the show as well. So getting that higher up view was really cool.
Yeah, the screens and just seeing Taylor above versus down below. Yeah, you get to see like everything really well. And we had a different friend with us that night, and so that was really fun. It was also just fun like seeing their experiences. Shout out Alicia. And I think that was her first Taylor Swift concert. So
both, Eileen on Friday night and Alicia on Saturday night. That was their first one
with someone new. Talking about the surprise songs for night 2. It's like we talked about our friend Eileen the Prophet. Literally, so she went night 1, couldn't go night 2. And we were talking about like what songs hadn't been played yet on the Tortured Poets and songs that we wanted. And one of them that I wanted was The Bolter. It was like one of the last few she had not played yet as a surprise song. And I was like, The Bolter. And I'm going to get you back, obviously, but we didn't get that one. But she was like, what if like she mashed up like The Bolter and like Getaway Car? She knows where rep stands. And we were like, whoa, that would be... Whoa. Never thought of. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I was thinking of it just from the music production element of it. I couldn't see it, but obviously the lyrics matched perfectly. So I was like, I don't know. And I remember kind of being like, I'm not sure she would do that.
Yeah, we're like, wow, that's really cool. Good thought. And then
acoustically, it worked perfectly.
Dude. And like, she's not in it as much as we are. So she's literally a prophet. I was so impressed with that recommendation. And then when it happened, I was like, this is insane.
Yeah. And then Alicia, the friend that was with us, Getaway Car is her favorite rep song, one of her favorite Taylor songs. So what are the chances that the night she goes, that's what happens?
She's playing the Bolter. She's going. I'm stoked. I'm like, this is a dream come true. This is what I wanted.
When Taylor was singing the Torture Poet songs for the first time, a lot of them she did play in full and did not mash them up. So she had played most of the Bolter and she was in the bridge.
Right.
And then she switched over to Cause We Were Jet
The lights
Set.
did turn green, I remember, and it was like, it was so much happening at once. And everyone screamed. The whole place erupted. Rep stands rose up. They were like, we did not know this was on the play card again, and matching it with a Bolter.
We've talked about this moment before, but it just never gets old.
Dude,
and if we can drop it in here, we will. But literally, you can hear the moment, because Alex is recording and I'm standing next to him. You can hear the moment that I clock that it's Getaway Car. It only took 2 or 3 words, and I let out the shrilliest scream of my life. It's Getaway
I'm over
Car.
here being like, it's green, it's red. What's happening? And then Molly clocked it, and it's like, it was just so overwhelming. It's like, I wish you could find out what the surprise songs are in the moment and then be like, okay, can we run that back again? Now that I'm like, I'm good. Okay, let's run it back. And then, you know, it's just too much going on in your head.
Yeah. So we'll add that in right here. I mean, what a moment. What a moment. I'm never getting over it. Never.
I'm never going to shut up about it.
And so we're barely recovered from the Bolter Getaway Car mashup. And then Taylor Allison Swift sits down at the piano and starts to sing All the Girls You Loved Before.
Which I clocked.
You clocked that.
I was
so
impressed.
Fast.
Yeah, I all of my time listening to that song, because that's another almost.
It's basically a Lover Vault track.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to think about it,
like the
way.
Lover Vault tracks.
Yeah.
I love them.
And we were like, wow, oh my gosh, All the Girls You Loved Before. Like, I would have never expected this one. And then Taylor, as she was about to transition into the next song, said, now, if all of you know this next one, then you really know, because it wasn't even on an album and it's like really old, whatever. She kind of gave a little speech, and then she proceeds to play Crazier from the Hannah Montana movie for the first time ever live.
Which in hindsight, I don't know if we were clowning about debutation back then, but it's funny because you think about, like, she gave us Getaway Car, which was kind of left field, with the Bolter, something old, something new, and then same thing with Crazier, and All the Girls You Loved Before was like, whoa, we did not.
Yeah.
So the rep stands got what they wanted, the debut stands got what they wanted. Yeah. Everyone was like, yeah, no notes.
Yeah, again, like, it's not
notes.
Technically a debut song, but it's debut-ish era.
Age,
and had never been performed live. So many Swifties were just in absolute disbelief that she actually played it. And the other really cool thing about it is just the way that she, you know, just like she did with the Bolter and Getaway Car, but with that mashup specifically, I just loved the outro. She's like, all the girls you loved before made you the one I've fallen for, because you make me crazier. It was flawless.
Had she played All the Girls?
I don't know. I feel like maybe she had once, because she had played most of the songs from most of the set lists.
Yeah.
Or most of the albums by the time we got into 2024. Right. So I feel like it had to have been played. Yeah, we just fact checked ourselves. She did play it in Santa Clara, so that would have been in full, because that was a US show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this was the only time it was used in a mashup. So then the final night was when we were VIP floor, and all VIP means is that you basically pay a little extra for your ticket. You do get a little bit of merch. So we got a cool box that had a poster and some postcards and a pin and things like that, a commemorative ticket, and then you get early entry. So we rallied and we got up really early and went and got in line so that we could be some of the first people to get into the floor.
The floor. That was a day. That was the long day, but it goes by so fast, because I remember having some anxiety about having to wait and really just lock in to get that front row, ideally, or barricade, as people call it. And between the people at the venue, which we mentioned earlier, being so awesome and giving water in the day and the weather, everything was like perfect. Like,
yeah, it was a really nice day. By that day was sunnier and a little warmer. And just everyone who was waiting in line in there early was so nice and
people
fun.
Had pizza, friendship bracelets, vibes were high.
Like, oh, you want to trade a slice of pizza for a friendship bracelet?
Literally.
Like, yes.
We were mapping out. We have in our vlog, you see us strategizing about where we're gonna go when we get in there with the bars that we had, like
all the protein bars.
Yeah. Okay, here's the stage. Here's what we want. And they were really strict about when you got in there, like, do not run, like you will get kicked out. So it was the calmest when they were finally like, all right, you're going in. Everyone's like, okay, we're walking very steadily, not running, like we're going over here. And it was good that we strategized.
We ended up being pretty much second row, and we were just past the diamond, like in between the diamond and the T. And again, you should definitely go watch our vlog if you kind of want to relive it with us. But it was nice because we were looking at Taylor front on for most of the performances. It felt like she was walking towards us or looking towards us. There's that moment during August where it felt like she looked right at us. And Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, when she's hanging off the thing, like, who's afraid? It felt like she looked right at us.
You can see a reflection in the mirror.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever realized it was a mirrored box. Like the Roomba, Tay Roomba is a mirrored box. And you don't really know that unless you're there.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, you should see your faces. And we can literally see our faces on the Tay Roomba.
Oh, I never thought about that either.
Yeah.
So many light bulbs going on. I'm like, why is it a mirror? I guess it just reflects off. Wow.
It was such a cool experience and the perfect way to end an amazing weekend. And the surprise songs for that night really brought us all home, because we actually had done an episode a couple of months before this trip where Ryan and I had talked about our top surprise songs, or sorry, not top surprise songs, just top songs that we would want to hear Taylor perform live. And Woulda Coulda Shoulda was one of the ones that I said. And then one of the ones that we ended up getting that night was one we jointly answered as a top song. So I'm gonna save that for a second because we gotta do the guitar first. But the guitar surprise songs were It's Nice to Have a Friend and Dorothea. And then the piano was Haunted and Exile.
To be one of the lucky ones who were part of the Exile in the crowd, Exile featuring the crowd moments, which if anyone hasn't seen those, run to TikTok, YouTube, the people that have experienced that, it's an experience of just hearing the crowd
do the
sing
echo
along
part
with Taylor. And I mean, even now, I'm like, Exile, never in my wildest dreams did I think I would get that. And she'd done the Haunted Exile mashup before at other shows. I kind of sensed what was coming, but I didn't want to.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was the one who sensed what was coming. I thought you didn't know she had done it before.
I did know. I only associated Haunted. It's like Haunted is Haunted in Exile, because I think she'd done it twice.
She'd done it once before.
Only once? Okay.
Yeah, so in my brain, when she started to play Haunted, first of all, I love Haunted.
Yeah.
But I'm like, don't get excited for Exile. She's probably not going to do the same mashup again.
That's like how I felt. Yeah, because I had only associated, I was like, oh yeah, the Haunted Exile. Because I think we clowned about it. That's probably why it was like a core. The clowning, why, I don't even remember anymore. But so it was, I knew I was like Haunted. So we both were waiting with bated breath.
And it's Alex's favorite song of Taylor's. And I just was so happy for him that we got some of our favorite songs between all the ones we've already talked about. And to end it with our final surprise song of that weekend being Alex's favorite song and a top song for both of us.
And it was when it was just the three of us, because the other two nights we had friends with us. Yeah. That was just the three of us. So it was just like a full, just really bringing it all home. Of like, we did it, y'all. Like, we did this.
It was amazing.
And life hasn't been the same and will never be the same again. Like, period. I realized I haven't really thought about this trip, even though we're coming up on the year anniversary, because it was too good. And life has just been so mundane ever since. So, but it's fun to unlock it and to relive it with you guys.
Every so often I'll go back and rewatch the vlog or our videos of the surprise songs from those nights and just relive those moments, because it was so amazing. I just don't even know what else to say. We're so grateful to have had the experience. And if anyone else was at the shows, definitely drop your experience in the comments from Edinburgh, or if you had any other Eras Tour show experiences, reminisce with us.
Yeah, we always love to bring, I feel like we haven't talked about the Eras Tour in a minute, you know? It's like, I know post Eras Tour, we were living in that space for a minute, and then now we've been distracted, but like, we all know the Eras Tour lives in our head forever. And it makes me just miss the Eras Tour, as we know.
Yeah, just the live streams, even if you never got to see the show in person.
Song mashups, even just watching other people, you're like, what mashup did she do? Well, luckily we have social media and all of the videos that live there that will still pop up randomly.
And the Eras Tour movie you can watch on Disney Plus. It doesn't have a Torture Poets set in it, but it's still an amazing movie to watch if you need to get that nostalgia back.
So good.
Well, I hope that it was as fun for you guys to listen to this story as it was for us to relive it. Long live Edinburgh.
Long live magic we made and all the pretenders. Like, how keep going. Keep going.
Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and like this video if you are watching on YouTube. And if you are listening, please follow us wherever you listen to this podcast. Give us a rating or review. And thank you to all of our Patreon and YouTube members. If you'd like to join, the links to those will be in the description of this episode. Bye.